Music is a strong common thread that flows through each of us every day. However, our musical preferences don't develop overnight. In infancy and early childhood, music is a constant element in such a limited environment. As a person grows and matures, the environment in which they live grows around them. Adolescence is a major developmental stage in which one is most impressionable and by everyone and everything they deem to be important in their environment. Music serves as an aid to create strong bonds in adolescence. It places them into different cliques, yet promotes individuality and further expands the capacity for certain developmental milestones. Urie Bronfenbrenner's theory focuses on the sociological effects of development. Lyrics, rhythm, and style associated with music are attractive and entertaining to children, but it is the center of development for adolescents. Before a child is brought into the world, he or she will have been exposed to the various genres of music their parents have listened to during pregnancy. Sir and Green define the process as a child's beginning of musicality. Due to the pre-exposure of music that the child has listened to while in their mother's womb, the child will naturally enjoy similar musical and early developmental stages. Urie Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory supports the different ways which music can influence an individual's interaction and communication with others. Based on Bronfenbrenner's theory, infants and children exist in mesosystem. The mesosystem only contains a limited number of adults in a child's world, which means limited exposure to different experiences such as various genres to music. Therefore, if a child's parents and immediate caretakers primarily listen to a particular type of music, the child is more likely to identify with that music. From the child's point of view, those influences represent the world and there are no other variations. Because these limited influences complete the child's world, the music and the stage suggest absolute social cues and communication. Bronfenbrenner's second layer of the ecological theory further expands a child's world to gain a well-rounded view of society. This second layer is the exosystem. The exosystem includes the community which surrounds a child. By the time a child reaches the adolescent years, he or she is aware of other influences in their environment. Elements in the exosystem also play a role in a person's musical preferences. Exosystems give people the opportunity to better understand themselves and others. Music opens doors to contrasting interests other than what is presented in an individual's mesosystem. Awareness of these musical influences will dictate the type of people one will identify with, because adolescents are more apt to associate with people with similar interests. To understand the importance music has on the adolescent's development, it is paramount to first understand the development of adolescence. Adolescence brings completely new ways of thinking, such as ways to maintain pure relationships, establishing individuality, acquiring the skills to think abstractly, and new ways of defining right and wrong. The period of adolescence is primarily based on autonomy. David Elkind describes this phase as adolescent egocentrism. Elkind attributes an adolescent's immature behavior to the belief that everyone's focus is on them, yet they have the notion that no one could ever understand how it feels to be in the world of agony. As the developmental stage progresses, adolescents start to see themselves from different perspectives. These inquiries of self are only made by themselves in private, secure places like diaries or with trusted close friends. With adolescents are becoming to realize the different perspectives of self, they are also consumed with the idea that others are also preoccupied with them, which breeds the feeling of self-consciousness. The preoccupation with the outward perception of self goes hand in hand with the elements of the construction of multiple facets of one's personality to fit certain situations. These various changes obviously do not happen one step at a time, independently. It happens simultaneously, which creates what's most commonly referred to as teen angst. The soul-searching stage adolescents go through melts into the exosystem of Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory and the effect music has on adolescents. In the exosystem, the surrounding environment that includes extended family, peer groups, the community, and pop culture, the adolescent stage of development fitting into the appropriate peer group is crucial. The best way to gain entrance to the most desired peer group is music. Research by Miranda and Clays found that adolescents primarily use music as a source of entertainment and social development. Music at this stage dictates the appropriate social cues, attitudes, morals, and identities. A song's lyrics, evocation of emotion, and the musician's image make self-preoccupation and autonomy slightly easier to handle at such critical times. As mentioned before, adolescents are in search of outlets that can understand the rapidly changing facets of their personalities. Music gives them the escape. Music feeds an Elkine's idea of personal fable, in which one believes that no one will ever understand them. The most fundamental part of a song, the lyrics, are typically the first aspect of music that attract the adolescent audience to feel as if they are understood. Country music sensation Taylor Swift ignited the country music scene in 2006 with her ballad hit. Tim McGraw telling a story of puppy love that found itself dissolved at the end of the summer. Any adolescent in a similar situation will identify with this tragic heartbreak through the lyrics. When you think of Tim McGraw, I hope you think my favorite song, The Moon Like a Spotlight on the Lake. When you think happiness, I hope you think that little black dress. Think of my head on your chest and my old faded blue jeans. To an adolescent, those lyrics are not just linked together by pleasing melodic tones, but it becomes their therapy because, alas, someone finally understands. To add to Taylor Swift's repertoire of relatable songs, she recently released the song Mean, depicting the victims of bullying. She outwits the bullies with clever lyrics. Your walk by lies and your humiliation, you have pointed out my flaws again, as if I don't already see them. Someday I'll be big enough so you can hit me and all you're ever going to be is mean. Not only do these songs speak to the turmoil of adolescence, the genre of music and the artist can give them an even deeper bond with their peer group, because it is the one element of each changing adolescent's interest that is the same, which creates a sense of belonging. With such a vast variety of musical talent to choose from, the songs one chooses to find solace and reverse back to the influence of one mesosystem, as well as the strong influence introduced in the exosystem. Song lyrics are just one element of music that help create an adolescent's autonomy. A musician's public image also has an impact on adolescents, developing views of morals. Every musician has an outward appearance that project to their fans to add in order to heighten the sense of celebrity and fanatics. The way a person dresses speaks volumes in the adolescent's world because it instantly categorizes a person into an appropriate peer group. To put these fashions into groups, one must know the inspiration of the look. Without musician influences, adolescents will find it difficult to place themselves into groups. The ideas of acceptable appearance do not stand alone. Other people like older siblings and respected young adults in the ecosystem solidify the ideas that what their favorite musicians are wearing or doing is acceptable. Music is not just for entertainment, but also defining autonomy. Yuri Brofenbrenner's ecological theory helps connect the dots form each stage of communication development. As illustrated in each layer of the ecological theory, each environment directly affects the development of adolescence. Music is a portal to advance a person to different social circles, in which turn affects a person's communication, especially in the most influential period of time in one's life, adolescence.